All right, we are live. Hello, everyone, YouTube and Twitter. As always, hopefully you're seeing me and hear me okay. Let's get in. So last week when I was streaming the process facade, or the refactoring to the process facade for Shift, I kind of saw a couple small things. Let's not have to do that every single time. Where is this key add thing? Okay, so yes, we definitely have changes on the framework. Let's get this SSH key add. There we go. All right, cool. Oh, I'm still not able to do that. Fine, whatever. Clear that out. Okay. Yes. Sorry. Where was I? Last week when I was refactoring to the process facade, there were a couple little shorthands when I was testing that I tried to do, and they actually didn't work. And I was kind of surprised that they didn't work. And I think they would be a good thing to add to the framework. So let's add them in this stream. I'm going to PR them. So I just did a git fetch. So we got everything from upstream. So I'm going to do a git pull upstream 11.x. And that should bring us down all the latest. We're going to put this into 11. So let's do a git checkout -b. Process shorthands. All right. Let's go. Let me go demonstrate what I'm talking about. So let's go into, there's probably like a process fake, maybe? Fake process result, I think it is. Down in here, there was a match statement, I think. Maybe it's not here. Maybe it's somewhere else. Where is this used? I think wherever this is used is what I want. I think it's the factory, maybe. Is there a match statement here? Match, no match. Okay, well, you know what? There's got to be a test for it. Process fake process sequent, fake invoke. Are there any tests for this? Where's the tests? Maybe there's no tests. That's why it doesn't work. Well, I tell you what. Let's go to the Shift code base that we were refactoring last week. And yeah, here it is. Process fake. Let's get into this fake bit. What is this? It returns a factory. Okay, this is where we were. Is there match? Maybe there's not a match statement in here. Maybe it was an if statement. Anyway, it's in here somewhere. There's a test for like is string. Yeah. Okay, where else are you? Nope, that's not it. Recorded collect filter callback. Where did I see this? Well, let's make it break, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so if I come in here and I say something like star, and then I say, output, or let's just say I say something else here, 1, 2, 3, 4, a valid thing. So let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's go run this. So let me go back to, I thought I knew where this was, but let's go back to here. And let's copy this, and we'll do vendor bin PHP unit that. This should explode, I would think, maybe. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Unsupported synchronous process fake result provider. Okay, let's go find where this is deep within the framework. Because I found this, and I saw some nuance to it. PHP Storm, come on. I don't know why its search is so slow sometimes. And it's like, if I just do it again, it finds it immediately. It's very strange. It's like their search hangs every now and then. Here it is. Here's the match statement. I knew it was somewhere. Where is this? Pending process is where it is. Okay, this is what I want to focus on. What's interesting in here, and this may or may not be documented. What's interesting in here is you can actually pass this, the expected output, and this will actually, it won't pass, of course, because I'm kind of hacking at it, but we'll see here that it doesn't throw an error anymore. And if we look at this, that's because if you pass it a string or an array, it'll automatically wrap that into the result as its output. So the array being, I think, the potentially multiple lines, maybe, is what it is. or the buffered output. And then of course, as if it's string, it's just the output from the command as a string instead of an array. If you do those two things, then it automatically wraps it in a fake process. Otherwise, it assumes that you build a process, and then if you don't do any of those things, then it's here. Now, technically, to make my refactor work, I added this throwable line here. That's not, we'll see here in a second, that's not actually in source. What I want to also do is an if is int result, we would automatically return this, but instead say the exit code. So just a shorthand, if you pass in, let's go ahead and put this back in here. If you passed in like, 1 here, or 255 or whatever for some like parsing thing, whatever you wanted, a non-zero exit code is the point, we should end up getting a failure. So shift number 1 failed with exit code 1, right? So the point here is that it'd be nice to be able to just straightforward throw an exit code. You can throw a result or an empty command here, or in fact here I just could have made the output, I don't even need this, right? These are all the shorthands that are available. So why not have one for exit code too, right? If an exit code's always an int, have one for exit code. And then what I also found was it was very difficult if you actually wanted the process facade to throw an exception, which it can. You can either set it up to throw one, or it'll throw one by default because of its runtime exception that's underlying in Symfony. It'd be nice to be able to, say something here like, of course, send it in runtime exception or something like that, right? Of course, if you do this here, it's going to pass, or it's not going to explode. But again, I've kind of hacked my own little version here. So this code and this code is actually not in core. I just added that here, hacking the vendor folder. So if I run this again, we're going to go back to getting that, unsupported asynchronous process fake. Very, very dense bit here, right? Logic exception, unsupported synchronous process fake result provided. That could probably be a little sweeter, I think, but maybe we'll revisit that at the very end. So now that I've figured out where this was, pending process line 370, let's get back into the framework and let's open up pending process, and let's go down to line 370. Here we are. Cool. So notice again, there's no isn't, there's no if it's a throwable, there's none of that that's in here, right? So I think there's an opportunity to add this. Now, it'd be cool to test drive this out. So I'm curious if there is any, if there are any tests for this. So got a couple viewers here. Hey, somebody in the chat, let me know that you all are seeing me and hearing me okay. I'm nervous at this point in the stream when there's no comments whatsoever. So please make a comment. Okay, let's see if there is, where is this used in all of the world? Is there any kind of test for process? Pending process pipe? I don't see one. Does factory have a test? Does this have a test? Pending process, concurrency. Oh, I saw process test down here. Here we go. Boom, process test. Cool. Got some stuff in the comments. I can hear you. Cool. All right, cool. Yeah, thank you. All right, people hearing me. Good. That helps. Okay, let's see kind of like what is tested here in this process test. Okay, so they make a new factory. They assert it's a process result. Oh, God. Successful, failed, exit code, output. We're doing a bunch of stuff here. All right. Did they set this up? Process output, process dot. How does this work? Result, factory path, run. Oh, run ls on wherever the dir is. I get you. Okay, cool. Test process pool. I'm just trying to see if they like do anything with this fake method anywhere. They're actually truly testing it like integration style here, which is nice. I'm just curious if they're testing. Okay, test basic process fake. Here we go. Perfect. Okay, so they make a new factory. They call fake on it. They call run ls. There's no output. They just straight fake it. There's no error output. There's no exit code, and it is successful. Okay, basic process with multi-line command. Okay, so the output, run command, blah, 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 blah. Assert that the exit code is 0. So they're just, yeah, okay. Process fake exit codes. Okay, exit code 1 with custom output. Okay, so there are definitely tests here for the faking of it. Let's kind of piggyback this. Can throw with output. Okay, what is this doing? I guess we should probably read these. I'm just trying to find the best place to drop this in here. So test fake processes can throw. Test tray processes, test tray processes, test process fake sequence. Test process with error output, with custom output, with exit code. Okay, so let's borrow this exit codes 1. And let's say test process fake exit codes, exit code shorthand shift. You can tell what I've been working on. Okay, so test fake exit code shorthand. Okay, so what we'll do here is we'll say, let's turn this back into an array. And we'll say ls dash la. And we'll return 1 here, right? It's interesting. Oh, assert false, successful. Okay, fine, yeah. So we've got this shorthand. This will drive this out. So now we do factory run on that. We're going to assert false, successful, and then we're going to assert same on exit code to B1, right? Result exit code. All right. If we go and run this, vendor bin PHP unit, run that. Oh, I'm in shift. I was like, what is going on there? All right, run that again. Okay, we have an exception, the exception we expect. We saw this when we were hacking around in the vendor folder. Here's this unprocessed, unsupported process, blah, 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 right? So we know where we're going here. Let's go 370, see if we can make this pass while not making anything else break. Should be pretty straightforward. Basically just going to copy this, and we're going to say if this is an int, has to be an int, right? Then we would just change this to say exit code. Exit code is that. We should run this and we should be green. We are. Awesome. I'm curious, quickly, if can factory result, can you just do, you can pass a closure to this. I'm curious, does the closure use this as well? So can I just straight say 1 here and this works? It does. It ultimately calls the same thing. Let's just do a dump here. Yeah. So no matter if you use the closure to send any callback or if you're arrowing out a bunch of fakes, it gets built up internally the same way. So they're actually, you get it for free is the point. It's both supported. So I'm going to explicitly do this one just for fun, but the other one is supported as well. So let's dump that back out. Let's go back to our original test. Okay, so now we want to do the same thing with throwing an exception. So they've already tested the result output. I'm not going to mess with this. Oh, wait, here we go. Test basic process fake with custom output. Okay, so they do, I just want to make sure we're kind of lining up. So they do a result of 2 lines. Okay, so again, if you pass an array, it's automatically line breaks. That all gets handled. Here's this plain string. We've talked about that before. All good. Here's the plain array. All good. Plain array with empty lines. Yeah, no problem. Process description. Sure. Okay, cool. Let's go down to where we start throwing stuff. What is this? What does this do? Exception out of bounds. What's being thrown here? Oh, let's open everything back up. Okay, so we push a sequence. Oh, and then we call it again, of course. Okay, that's fine. Okay, test stray process. Yep, that's fine. Test stray process. Let's get back to more of the throwing stuff. Test process can throw. Okay, so process failed exception. Result exit code 1. Result throw, of course. Test fake process throw if true. Okay, throw if true. Test fake process don't throw if true. Okay, fine. Test real. Okay, so I think in here we're not actually throwing here, but it's similar. It's a similar type thing. Let's just add this here. Test fake process. What did we call our other one? Get diff-w. We call this test process fake. Yeah, so test process fake shorthand throw, or throw shorthand. Throw shorthand. I'm just doing these the same way. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is we would expect, let's expect a runtime exception. All right, and we'll say something like expect exception message to be something like my custom exception message. It's a bit much, so fake exception message is fine. And then let's build this up. Same thing here. We'll just do something like cat me, and oops, we got to do a fake here. So let's arrow this out to a runtime exception. Whoops, a new runtime exception. And close that out. And here we need to say fake exception message. Cool. And then here, we don't need this path. We can just straight run. We shouldn't need throw. We're going to do run and cat me. All right, let's see if this happens. We get failure. Failed asserting. Okay, yeah, we get the logic exception instead of the runtime exception because, again, that's the default. So a little bit of a nasty error message there, but it makes sense because we're getting a logic exception being thrown. So instead, we would say result is instance of throwable. Then we would simply throw the result. Now, PHP Storm's not going to like that because it's unhandled, but this should pass, and it does. Does anybody know the difference between throwable and exception? I'm just wondering, should this say, I think it should say throwable. I'm just curious the difference. Let's see here. Okay, so throwable is the interface, which, yeah, extends stringable, interesting, which has message. Okay, so I think throwable is the right approach here, because if it's throwable, then you can throw it. So this code should track. I'm just wondering if we need to be as high level as throwable, or should it just be exception? I'm not too sure, but I think this is probably fine. So what we've added here are shorthands for the ability to simply pass in an integer, which represents the exit code when you're faking processes, as well as the ability to return a new throwable, or to assign a throwable to that fake in this case, to do something. Now, I don't think the throwable one is necessarily very common, but if you go look at where this actually gets run, if we look at the ToSymphony process, it can actually underneath throw a runtime exception. So if your code has a very high level try-catch, that's very hard to test with Laravel's process facade, that particular path. Again, it's a very isolated path. It's an underlying issue in the Symfony thing, so I understand why Laravel maybe doesn't have that right away. But technically, it can throw a runtime exception. So it's the ability to test that as a path when you're running, processes in your code probably should happen, right? You should probably be checking that or having the try-catch, right? It's different than when you do throw, is the point. This is a bit different. So again, I think it all gets caught because they wrap it in the try catch, but they only catch a Symfony timeout exception and then throw their own. Technically, they would need to be catching like a just a generic runtime exception, and then they would need to throw this as like a process failed exception. So now again, I don't know if they get the error message or what there, but the point is that technically, you know, they're not doing that. They're just allowing it to bubble up. So it bubbles up to your code if the underlying Symfony process failed and threw this runtime exception. So that's why I threw it in there. Again, I don't think it's very common with this throw. You'd probably just do the throw and throw if you were worried about those particular things. But again, this is how it should work. So I'm wondering, you probably don't get an exit code or anything here. So I wonder what result is. Is result the instance of the exception? I'm just kind of curious. This, or well, let's just dump. Not bad. Dump. I'm just kind of curious what result is. I would imagine result is the exception itself. The result's nothing. Is this being tested? Yep, this is being tested. Let's do a var dump. Sometimes dump outputs nothing when it's null. Oh, do you have to? I think you have to, because it's tracking the exception stuff. I don't think you get it. We're getting here, right? Am I crazy? What's going on here? This is being tested, right? Testing. Yeah. This is throwing an exception which is bubbling up and being caught by PHP unit. So you're actually never getting to line 414, which means you doesn't matter, right? This is the thing that triggers the error. So the point is that we don't need that temporary variable. I was just curious if it gave us an exit code or failed, or we could perform some more assertions on it. But the answer is no, we don't need to do that. So let's wrap this puppy up. What time is it? Oh, yeah, we're good on time. Let's go ahead and open the PR for this. Okay, so process failed exception. No, I think that was just me hacking around. Yes, we will add that. Yes, we will add that. Yes, we'll add our test. Yes, we'll add our test. And that's it. The other thing was just me demonstrating how it could catch that error. So git commit -m, add shorthands for testing, or add testing shorthands for fakes. Cool. Git push origin head or orphan. All right, git push origin head. Let's go open up this new PR. Oh, Chrome. Look at the beach ball. Go beach ball. Chrome is crapping out. All right, here we go. I thought I clicked that. There we go. Okay, add test. Okay, so let's see. Basically, we want to bring in our examples here. So this adds 2 new shorthands for faking processes in tests. The first is a shorthand to simply set the exit code. The second is a shorthand to throw an exception. While the latter is not common, it is possible for the underlying Symfony process to throw a runtime exception. This path is hard to test without. While the latter is not common, as it is only possible, this path is hard to test without the ability for a fake process to throw an exception. Okay. Let's do that, and let's show an example. So we'll say example or well, we don't even need that. Let's just say PHP, and then let's go steal our fake stuff that we did here. So we'll borrow this, and we'll call this process instead. So process fake. Let's break a line, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get our other one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, let's just steal our other one. Where's our other one? This is good. We'll just say something like, whoa, hey, tabbing everywhere. Let's say 255. And we'll say php-l script.php. 1, 2, 3, 4 cat readme.txt. Cool. Okay, I think this looks good. Preview. Okay, so this adds 2 new shorthands for faking processes in test. The first is a shorthand to simply set the exit code. The second, don't need that comma, is a shorthand to throw an exception. All right, so the second, while the latter is not common, as it's only possible for the underlying Symfony process to throw a runtime exception, this path is hard to test without the ability for a fake process. It's impossible to test, to be honest, but we don't need to get that dense. Okay, yeah, so it's hard to test. Yeah. Unless a fake process can throw an exception. All right, cool. And we're going to 11.x. Yes, we are. Okay, let's create. We'll see if I messed up any tests or anything else. So we'll see. I mean, if there are tests failing, I would assume it's other places in the framework. But again, there might be other tests for the process facade that I've inadvertently affected with my code change. So the main one I want to make sure is style CI. That one's always hit or miss with me, but they looked good. So now it's just a matter of making sure all these tests pass, which these take 10, 15 minutes. So I'm not going to keep everybody on the stream. Here is the PR number 52840. We'll see if it makes it in. Like I said, I think these are worthwhile. But they're well tested. We test drove them. I would use them clearly in my code. I kind of expect to use them. So hopefully this gets merged. Yeah, anyway, thank everybody for joining live. Feel free to leave your comments on this PR if you agree or disagree with it. Again, hopefully it helps you write some more tests. See you next time.